Alright, ladies and gentlemen, not a lot of times do I cast Islands games, but here is one for you. On the north is Don Artie playing as the French in blue, and down south it is Mr. Hera playing as French as well in red. The map is Warring Islands, which is still the better water map. Archipelago is an absolute mess. Warring Islands is slightly better in my perspective, but we'll see how good this game could possibly be. So, the French received a nerf to their Hawks in the recent patch, which means that they are not as dominant on water as they are used to be, or at least that's how they're advertised. I haven't had the chance to check out that one in a great detail. So far, to me, it felt like the Hawks are still pretty powerful in Feudal Age, and I feel like currently that's just the safest option to play. But some other civilizations might actually be relevant, but combined with the fact that the French have a very, very powerful economy, that Hawk is still going to be your dominant feudal age unit, and because of that, I do believe that the French will still be a dominant civilization on Warring Islands, although, as I said, the Hawk nerf might actually give a window to some other civilizations. I can see Holy Roman Empire being relevant, trying to go for a fast castle style play. Rus could be very, very relevant, I believe, trying to play with Lodya fishing ships, moving up and converting them to attack ships so that they can destroy the opponent's fish before your opponent gets his first hawk out. So there are some intriguing civilization selections for Warring Islands, but by far the safest is the French. We see Don Artie is going full wood. That's pretty standard over here. You just want to get those fishing ships out. And this is where we have to mention that Don Artie's dock placement is very, very unlucky here. This is not really his fault, because you see that he has scouted the shoreline, and what you want is a deep fish. Because a deep fish is a faster source of fish for your fishing ships than shore fish is. And he literally picked the only position where there is no deep fish nearby. Anywhere else, on the right side, on the left side, there could have been some deep fish to work with. Here, absolutely nothing. Very unlucky for him to have it here, to be honest, because it's a massive amount of bad luck that he doesn't have any deep fish around here. But, well, whenever he places his second dock, there's a possibility that he's going to come out all the way down here to the right side, so that he's gonna have his fishing geek over here instead. Still, he's got the shore fish to work with, so not the end of the world, but deep fish would have been way better. Speaking of deep fish, for Hera, he does have access to it. He placed his dock on the right side, which is an absolutely marvelous dock. Multiple droplets of deep fish nearby, including an access to quite a lot of shore fish here, 5 droplets to be precise. And the hunt is also close, the boar is also close, so much food could be dropped off at that dock out here. Looks like Hera for now is going to be 9 on wood. His opponent, Mr. Don Artie, is 10 on wood already, and there's a villager moving out. What is this guy up to? This is a fisherman. Are we gonna see a second dock here for Don Artie? He has scouted deep fish in here, so he might actually go for a second dock earlier than what I thought. This would be a great spot for a second dock, because there's so much shore fish nearby, quite a lot of deep fish as well. The thing that's a little risky here for Don Artie is that his 2 docks will be spread out, which means that he won't be able to focus his forces at one specific location. Compare that to Hera. Hera will place his second dock here, which means that his fishing eco will be here, his navy will be here when it's defending, so you can sort of focus all your military effort on one position. Whereas, if Don Artie makes a dock here, he's fishing here and he's keeping his navy here, that allows Hera to potentially push that dock. So, the main reason why Hawks are still probably the best water unit in Feudal Age is because Hawks can destroy docks quite easily. Archer ships, like let's say galleys, junks, dhows, they take a lot of time to destroy docks. Hawks have a lot more firepower against these buildings, which means that the moment you get some sort of advantage on water and your opponent has no navy, you can start destroying his docks, and then it's gonna be extremely difficult for your opponent to come back on water. And looks like Don Artie is going very heavy on the fishing department, by the way, so you see he is not really close to Feudal Age, going very heavy on the fish though, producing fishing ships on both of his docks. Meanwhile, for Hera, he has been a lot more reserved. When it comes to fishing ship production, he stopped at 7. But he's going into Feudal Age with the Chamber of Commerce, standard building to age up with. That ability to sell your food is actually very, very helpful when you're talking about water fights. So Basically, the idea here is that Hera's gonna have a very good food income from the fishing ships. And he won't be spending that food at a lot of places right now. He will be making villagers, but that's basically it. But he will be floating a lot of food. And if he sells that food, he can get a lot of valuable gold, and he can buy some wood for himself so he can produce combat ships a little faster. In fact, because he's the first one to Feudal Age, he will have better market rates to work with than Don Artie will. Don Artie is just now aging up with the Chamber of Commerce. He went all the way up to 12 fishing ships though, so Don Artie has a lot more food income right now from fish. 12 versus 10 fishing ships right now. So as things stand, Don Artie is building that. Actually, Don Artie is building this with 5 villas. I thought Hera was building with more, but Hera's only building with 2 villas. It seemed like Hera started with more, but now he's sending villagers on gold. This is a little troublesome for him, because Don Artie might actually catch up. And if he does that, Don Artie will have the better market prices for the food. You see, players already floating a lot of food. Pretty characteristic of water maps here. You got so much fish. Both in terms of like Warring Islands gameplay, and both in terms of Boulder Bay, so you will experience the same thing on Boulder Bay. Notably, one of the other reasons, aside from the Hawks, why French are so powerful here is because you get a market with the Chamber of Commerce immediately. Any other civilization would actually need to make a market to be able to do this, and you see Don Artie already dropped off all the food he had. He had the better market prices out here. He actually beats Hera to Feudal Age, which is pretty annoying for him. Hera will also be selling his food wherever possible, though Hera could actually legitimately think about the fast castle here. We'll see if he does that. Nope, he's selling his food. Pretty standard stuff over here for both players. So, double Hawks coming in for Hera. Don Artie is popping out 2 Hawks as well. Soon we'll get the additional sales upgrade, which is pretty much mandatory for the Hawks, because you really need that extra speed. Your Hawks are very slow, so every extra bit of speed that you can grab is amazing. By the way, look at all the amount of shorefish here for Hera. That's just an insane amount of fish to work with. For whatever reason, on the minimap, the shorefish signs were actually removed, so you can no longer check the minimap for shorefish, only deep fish. Looks like the first Hawks are coming out, but as I said, this is why I could have justified a fast castle for Hera. By the time these Hawks arrived for Don Artie, Hera could have been up to Castle Age. It would have been risky, and I'm not exactly sure what he could have gained aside from the fact that he could have added a couple of demolition ships, but it could have been an idea for Hera. So, now that we're talking about Castle Age, it's worth mentioning that Castle Age is where really the snowball could start to begin. Whoever gets to Castle Age first will have the chance to get the armored hull upgrade, but even more importantly, the extra ballista, and even the range and line of sight bonus and navigator lookout for those ships could be massive. And of course, the demo ships. The demo ships could hide in these little mist parts, and they could just jump on enemy combat ships. And this is actually perfectly positioned mist here for Hera. He can hide demos in here and just sink any incoming ship. There's a decent mist here as well for Don Artie. He could hide a couple of demos there, sink anything that's coming his way. In fact, this one and this one combined actually protect this entire bay here, because some demos here, and Hera has to be very cautious with pushing up. He's coming in with 3 Hawks right now. Looks like Don Artie is sitting at 13 fishing ships. Hera is at 10 only, so Hera stopped at 10, and here comes Hera with the Hawks. We'll get some shots in. He should be able to sink at least 1 fishing ship here. Indeed, there it goes. So, as you see, now the Hawks only have 2 ranged armor. This used to be 6. That's the base count, or base amount, for any Hawk in the game, except for French. It was nerfed. It's down to 2, so they are a lot more exposed to galley fire, but the main problem with the Hawks when it comes to, I'm not saying overpowered, but when it just comes to balancing them, is that they have insane firepower. 100 ballista damage is no joke as the spin micro begins. Slightly better fight here for Hera so far. He's able to focus down 1 combat ship of Don Artie, and there goes 1 from our blue player. Hera is pulling off his weak combat ship here. Look at that. He's just shielding it with the other vessels, although Don Artie could actually try to jump on it, but it looks like Hera once again takes the better fight, takes down potentially another ship. Looks like Don Artie will get away with this one, but look at the resources. Look at the resources. Hera has a very, very good food income. I think part of the reason why is because he has been gathering deep fish the entire Dark Age. You see, as I said, the fishing ships are much more efficient when it comes to gathering from deep fish compared to shore fish. And Don Artie has some deep fish here, but it's only being gathered by 4 fishing ships, and most of his fishing ships are actually gathering shore fish. Whereas Hera is going for full deep fish, so probably those 10 fishing ships on deep fish are actually more efficient than the larger amount of fishing ships for Don Artie that are spread in between shore fish and deep fish. If you look at the food income, it's actually better for Don Artie, but Hera only has 10 on food, and that's basically it. Don Artie has 9 only, though. So I'm somewhat puzzled how Hera was able to get to Castle Age this fast with the resources. I'm fairly certain that's because of the deep fish, although this is not necessarily justified by what we're seeing here in the income per minute tab. Nonetheless, Hera is on the way to Castle Age, going up with the guild hall as you would expect, and that's going to allow him to get some extra resource boost at the beginning. And as I said, I feel like this is where the snowball starts to begin. The extra ballista upgrade, the armored hull, but especially with all these strategically positioned clouds of mist, demolition ships is the real deal here for Hera. One demo and those caravels, caravels, they're not even caravels, these hawks will go down quite easily. Speaking of caravels, those are not in this game. I got a little confused when it comes to ship names. There's a couple to remember in this game. Hawks, galleasses, and carracks are available for the French. Looks like Don Artie is trying to find another angle to attack. Hera is sitting at 9 hawks as opposed to 7 incoming hawks. So this is not a fight that our blue player can take, and there's a third dock here for Hera. Meanwhile, for Don Artie, he is not far away from Castle Age either, but he's gonna get beaten by at least a minute, I would assume. Don Artie will find the dog, but so will Hera find him. And now, Hera could try to just lure this navy in this little bay. Because one thing that could work out for Hera is that he lures this in and then uses the demos to sink that navy. And you see, this is why the Hawks are still the kings of the water in Feudal Age. They destroy docks in literal seconds. By the time Hera arrived with his navy, Don Artie snipes down that dock, and that's basically it. And this is not something that galleys, junks, dhows can do. And as long as this is a thing, I believe that pure water maps are pretty much French exclusive, regardless of how much the armor is nerfed. Because even if the armor is nerfed, the key point is the firepower. I still believe that some sort of shadow attacking could have been better for the Hawks, like have, I don't know, just a Feudal Age Hawk, name it something, I don't know, just Early Hawk, probably that's your best name. Took me some time to figure out something very simple like that. But yeah, if you call it Early Hawk, you take that ballista damage down to, I don't know, 40, and then just shadow attack it into a Hawk in Castle Age. That could actually help with that. That's just my perception, of course, but I still believe that the main reason why the Hawks are so powerful is because of the firepower. Now, Hera is up to Castle Age, but since he's not pushing, Don Artie is given time to react to this one. He's going up with the guild hall as well, building it with 6 fills, and he should be up soon as well. Looks like we are going to have Navigator Lookout first for Hera, and extra ballista as well. No demo ships. I feel like for Don Artie, he probably knows he's a little behind. So, one demo could be a very nice idea before the upgrades actually come in and hide it in this low mist. That would be a pretty clever way of doing this. Looks like Hera is coming up, and that's quite a lot of Hawks, if I may say so. We're talking about 13. Don Artie only has a fleet of 10. And now Hera has the extra ballista on those, and he also has the Navigator Lookout, so you see that he has 7,000 of range, and on the other side, that's only 6. That actually makes it easier to micro your ships, although since the micro is based on spinning, extra range doesn't really matter, and you see Hera just now spots the navy of Don Artie. Don Artie tried to conceal this, but it wasn't able to, and it looks like Don Artie will be forced to take this fight, but this is a bad fight for him. The no extra ballista is just a bad thing, but here come the demos. Hera's gonna have to focus them down, otherwise they will connect. One goes down, the other one, however, manages to sink 3 vessels from Hera, and I think there's another one coming in here. Could be big, and that is one demo down, taking down one Hulk. Hera's got some heavily damaged ships here, and there's another demo here, ready to jump. A second demo is on the way. First one gets taken down, but catches one Hulk in the collateral damage. The other one connects to Hulk, but wasn't able to sink it. The demos were nice here for Don Artie, but they came just a little too late. He started losing his vessels before that happened. Still, Hera has to be very careful here, because any moment those demos could jump on him and he could just lose his navy, and I feel like he's being lured into a trap here. Hera could be lured into a massive trap if he just sails a little more northwards, because there is demos coming from the left, and there is demos coming from the right, and that could be massive. Don Artie has 4 docks worth of demo ship production. One demo from the right, one from the left. Both fail to connect, as Don Artie has a demo coming in here. This could be the game. Oh, just a little too late. That's such a life-saving thing for Hera. The demo does get sniped down, as 2 more demos are looking to connect. Don Artie is gonna get picked apart. With this demo, does get a connection, but it was insignificant. Don Artie is doing his best here to get some demo connections, but Hera is on the lookout, and he's able to snipe down those demos before they are actually able to get a connection. First dock down from Don Artie, second dock is also going down. He's gonna need a little bit more meat shield in front of those demos, because the problem is that even if you send in 5 demos, this is enough firepower to take down most of those demos before they connect. If you had like 3-4 more Hawks here that just absorb the arrow fire and then sort of use the demos as something that just rams them while they are distracted, that could work. Or you could lure them into a trap. You could very well lure them into a trap. Hera's gonna destroy all the docks from Don Artie, so at this point for Don Artie, he wants to go boom, and he's going for multiple stables. I wonder if he wants to land. This could be a chance. Oh, fishing boats are being pulled. Where are the demos at? The demos are in the front of this navy. Hera's being lured into a trap! Hera's being lured into a trap! Imagine Admiral Akbar in front of your eyes screaming it's a trap. That is exactly what this was. Most of the fishing ships went down here, but this is the best that Don Artie could hope for. Sunk the majority of Hera's navy, and he buys himself some time. It's still going to be difficult because he no longer has docks to make more demos. 1 or 2 more extra demos in that fight could have been even more devastating. But still, very, very nice connection there for our blue player Don Artie. Looks like he's switching into a full knight-based composition. I do assume that the idea is that he wants to land somehow. I just don't know how, because Hera is spreading his ships out. Now, the best way to recover a shoreline currently is to get Springolds out. Springolds have 10 range, and you got 7 range on the ballistas of those combat ships. So you can outrange them and take them down from a distance. Behind this one, Don Artie is floating a ridiculous amount of gold. I wonder if he has used his guild hall and withdrawn the resources. Kind of feels like it. Meanwhile, for Hera, he's got 900 gold in the guild hall. He could withdraw at any moment, but he doesn't really need to. And oh, I love this. He's going for trade ships. Trade ships are pretty expensive, but they return their value so fast. And when you have this much water control, adding a couple of trade ships is actually really good. Gives you a huge amount of gold, which means that you will bank up a lot more gold. That's always nice, as oftentimes you could find yourself running out of gold in a long battle, so the fact that you were able to obtain some more gold throughout the game is actually pretty valuable. Another dock coming in here for Hera. So what is Don Artie up to? He's most definitely making 5 stables worth of knight production. I do assume that he wants to land on Hera's Island. The question is, how is he ever gonna get any transport ship over there? Because he has absolutely no shoreline control. Looks like Don Artie has a lot of gold as well, so he could actually think about going into Imperial Age and getting even a cannon out to try and push away those ships. And the thing is that if he gets to Imperial, things could get spicy, because the explosives upgrade would make the demos go crazy. This upgrade is pretty much broken. It increases the range of your demo ships so much that they pretty much become nuclear weapons. So if you have seen some games with that technology, they just sink entire navies in one blast. Still, Don Artie is floating a huge amount of gold. He's going crazy on the gold mining. He has been 30 on gold for a long time. You see, he depleted this gold mine, he depleted this gold mine. I think it's pretty much going to be market economy for him. I think the idea is that it takes a lot of time to set up a food economy if it's based on farms. You lost your fishing eco. And he needs to strike fast, because the longer he delays, the higher the chance for Hera to build up a trade and in general just get to Imperial. Now the problem for Don Artie is that Hera's got a massive fishing eco over here for himself, and that's going to help Hera catch up. You see, Don Artie is getting close to Imperial, but Hera is not far away either, and as I said, those trade ships return their value so easily. A trade ship is 300 wood, 100 gold, I believe. Indeed it is. And it returns 90 gold per trip, 45. It actually takes a couple more trips to return their value. But you see, they're pretty fast, so in a couple of minutes, they should be able to get that gold back. And honestly, this is not even a very long distance to trade with. These trade ships actually work a lot better on Boulder Bay, because usually you have a longer distance between your dock and the neutral trading post on Boulder Bay as compared to this map. Still, the idea here for Hera to trade is actually very nice. Red Palace for Don Artie. So the Red Palace is actually an extremely good defensive landmark that's particularly good against ships. It does have an insane range, and it does have a huge firepower, so it's capable of sinking ships very easily. It's the perfect building to protect your docks with. The problem for Don Artie is that he can't build it on the shoreline, so he has to build it a little closer to land. Might be able to reach those hawks, but I mean, Hera, if he just pulls away his ships, like here and here, he can still deny docks. Did you see that? Did you see those nuclear torpedoes it's shooting? Those are Arbalest emplacements, by the way, but that was 2 ships in 5 seconds. That's the Red Palace for you, without a cannon, without a springboard. It's the single best defensive landmark in the game. There are many civilizations that have these keep-like landmarks, but the Red Palace is probably the best for defensive purposes. It has just an insane firepower, and it's particularly good against ships, so on islands, it's just even better. Now, as I said, the problem that Don Artie is facing is that Hera is also Imperial, simply because Hera had a way better economy than him. So we're talking about 104 of villagers for Don Artie. Hera's got 111, but that includes a lot of very efficient fishing ships, quite a lot of trade ships, that both bring in wood and gold, and that's pretty helpful. Not only just one resource, they actually bring in 2 types of resources, both which are needed to make ships and just control those shorelines. Let's see if Hera's gonna mix in some Carracks. Carracks could actually be good to take down shoreline buildings, but it won't be enough to take down the Red Palace. Because the Red Palace has 10 tiles range, and the Carrack would have 10 range as well with chaser cannons, I believe. So you can't really take this down with combat ships. So what's the plan for Don Artie? That's what I don't understand. He's mining stone like crazy. He could make multiple keeps. The problem is that he never had shoreline control, so I wonder how he's going to leave his island. That's the main question. If he had like 5 springboards to take down those ships with, secure the shoreline, get a keep up, I understand it. Looks like he's crawling closer and closer to the shoreline with those keeps. And oh, I'm starting to see it. You see, he's slowly crawling up the shoreline. There would have been easier ways to secure control over here. As I said, springboards, potentially cannons, would have worked so nicely. They push away the ships and then you drop a castle, so you actually have more. But Hera is coming in with a wonder! Oh, I didn't see that! I did not see that! It makes so much sense for Hera. He's got an insane amount of resources to burn. He's got shoreline control. Does he actually benefit from adding 5 more hawks? Heck no. So he could just get the wonder. In fact, the ultimate move from Hera would be to also take the sacred sites and drop 1 keep on each island. Because that way, Don Artie would be up against 2 victory conditions. And even if Don Artie destroys the wonder somehow, he would need to take the sacred sites back as well. Now, Don Artie actually made a multiple defensive castles on the shoreline, so now he can finally redock, but as I said, it was a massive investment. He had to crawl close to the shoreline like this. And you see, even this keep isn't able to reach these ships, so if you make a dock here, they will just destroy it. This is the problem here. This is why it would have been so much better to build a Red Plus close to the shoreline. But obviously he needed siege weapons for that. Still, that probably would have been the better solution. Anyways, looks like we're gonna get enlistment incentives, which will decrease your unit cost even more with the castle's bonus. Could be useful, as now we're seeing cannon coming out. That's where the real fun begins. I feel like if those cannon come out 3 minutes ago, that would have been way better. You probably could have avoided making this castle and just make one on the shoreline right away. Now, it looks like Hera is getting some more combat ships out. Most of these are Hulks, no Galleasses, no Carracks. He's just going for a defense upgrade, but really, now your big boom is the explosives upgrade. That is just mandatory in Imperial Age, because those demos are so powerful. I didn't see when the countdown started for Hera's Wonder, but probably was around 22 minutes. The Wonder countdown, if I'm not mistaken, is 15 minutes. The Sacred Site countdown is 10, but the Wonder should be around 15. So I would expect around a 37-minute time for that Wonder to win the game for Hera, but correct me if I'm wrong. Unfortunately, in... Oh, there is a Wonder countdown. Never mind. It's 12 minutes remaining, so I was right. It's 38 minutes when we get there. So, for whatever reason, the Sacred Sites don't have a countdown when you use that as a victory condition. But I always keep forgetting that the Wonder has. So, 12.5 minutes, I'm just gonna leave it here, because currently that's the most important thing to look at. Cannon slowly crawling closer to the shoreline, and they do deal a lot of damage to those Hawks, so you see, now, Don Artie can redock. Hera's got quite a lot of Navy on the left side as well. All of them grouped up here. 4 cannon slowly crawling up, and as I said, this is the time for Don Artie to come back on water. Still, it's gonna be insanely difficult because he's pretty much depleted all the resources on his island already, because it wasn't really an effective way of getting back to the water to make 5 cannons and then make so many keeps on the shoreline, whereas Hera has just been so much more efficient when it comes to spending his resources. Here comes the first Carrack. As I said, this bad boy also has 10 tiles range, so it actually evens out the ones from the cannons. But this guy can't take down Red Palace. It can take down any keep because the keeps only have 8 tiles range, but it can't take down the Red Castle. Still, this is actually a bit of a suicidal move here by Hera. Uh-oh. Multiple Carracks are shelling that keep, but all those Hawks are being taken down. Cannon crawling closer to the shoreline. They take some shots on the Hawks. Hera knows exactly that he needs to prevent a redocking here. On the other hand, Don Artie is just smashing that fleet in the face, and there is still enough cannon here to potentially sink those Carracks. Don Artie is going to need to sink those Carracks though, because otherwise his keeps will be torn apart. Another cannon coming in here, 11 minutes on the Wonder countdown. Hera is retreating with his vessel over here. This one is in the range of that keep, so you're gonna have to retreat with that as well if you're Hera. And for a long time in this game, Don Artie once again gets a dock up. Meanwhile, looks like Hera is still operating mostly with Hulks and Carracks, which would give a window for Don Artie to play with demos. The problem for Don Artie, as I said, is that he's still so much behind in technology on water, and you see Hera's navy is just enormous. It's really enormous. And those cannons perform decently against ships, but Hera's got so much, and the thing is that Hera has the initiative. Hera doesn't need to push this one. The reason why he's pushing it is because he knows exactly that if Don Artie remains on his own island and he can't push him, then Don Artie will lose this game. And so it actually is worth it to just sacrifice some of your resources and try to prevent Don Artie from redocking. Doing so will allow Hera to control the seas, and then he's just gonna win on a Wonder victory. Took down 2 keeps, which once again delays Don Artie's redocking. Now we do have cannon emplacement though, so the cannon can actually shoot back at those Carracks. So things will get spiced up a little bit here for Don Artie. And by the way, Hera pulled all his combat ships on the left side, so Hera's not looking over here. This is a saving grace for Don Artie, simply because on the right side I don't see him being able to redock in the next 3 or 4 minutes. And remember that he's still out-teched on water. He doesn't have the armor upgrade, navigator lookouts, extra ballista, so he's very far from actually fielding a combat-ready navy. And it's only 9 minutes until the Wonder victory. what he really needs is demos. He's making transports. He's making transports. Now, that's a lot of Elite Royal Knights, but Hera finds this. He also finds the transports, so he should realize what's going on. He should realize that his opponent wants to land. And I feel like you don't want transports here. You want demos with explosives. That upgrade is relatively cheap. It doesn't take a lot of time to research. And 3 demos here with explosives would sink this entire navy. That's the thing. The transports should not be able to get through this one, although there is multiple keeps shooting at them once again. So, quite a few of those Hawks are going down here for Hera. He's been losing those Hawks left and right. Looks like the transports are taking some damage. But no combat ships. As I said, Hera should realize that, look, I am seeing transports. I gotta make sure that no one can land on my island. You see, there is docks all around. Wouldn't be surprised to see keeps being spammed all around as well. Looks like one transport gets away with 6 villagers here from Don Artie. Probably tries to get a sneak up on Hera's island. First dock is about to go down. Now demos are coming in. Explosives upgrade not on the horizon though for Don Artie. Without explosives, this won't work out as well as it could possibly do. As the transport does arrive, villagers will pop out. Hera sees this. However, Hera's got no land army. Countdown at 7.5 minutes here. Half of the time gone. Some more cannon are coming in though. And for Don Artie, he's gonna have a demo out as well. Hera's navy is still pretty formidable here, but there come the demos, and this could be a disaster. First demo fails to connect, but the second and the third could actually get one. Looks like they sink a couple of Hawks here, but they weren't able to charge in on these, so it wasn't perfect. Cannon's also getting some shots in here. This castle is without cannon emplacements, so it shouldn't be able to range the Karak. Hawks taking down the cannon over there. 2 docks are little blaze, as one of them will just burn down to the ground in a moment. The castle is also dying. Cannons out here, though, they could finish off the Karak before it takes down the castle. They're not shooting at the Karak right now. A castle is being dropped on the other island, as we are seeing a siege workshop being built. Cannons on the way for Don Artie to try and push Hera's Wonder. 6.5 minutes remaining. Demo does get a connection on Hera's Hawks, as Hera is about to burn that castle down, but where is Hera's navy at? Hera's navy is nowhere to be found, and if this Hawk goes down, a dock here could allow Don Artie to get some transports in and sort of play a blockade runner strategy. Hera, I think he just now realized that there is a castle in his face, because he's only now pulling the villagers. First cannon coming out, and here's the deal. What does Hera have to stop this? He's just now scrambling for barracks. If those knights ever get through, that's gonna be a lot of elite royal knights here, plus some cannon. And remember that if Hera loses everything on this island, which is a distinct possibility if he doesn't have an army to stop this, then it doesn't matter that he's got the Wonder. He will lose the Wonder and he will have nowhere to go. This is a risky situation to be in for Hera. I still think I like his position more because he's got an untouchable food economy over here on the water. He's only 5 minutes away from the Wonder victory. But if you look at Don Artie's landing, it's getting stronger and stronger. And it looks like that transport ship does arrive. It has like 1 HP or so. In fact, it does have 25. It managed to avoid all those Hawks. And it does deliver a pretty significant batch of 13 Royal Knights. Hera is now scrambling for defense. He will probably try to play Spearmen, but you see, he only has the Hardened upgrade. So these Spearmen won't be amazing against Elite Royal Knights, especially when there's already cannon support, and a cannon can just melt those buildings like butter, so it's gonna be extremely difficult for Hera to field an army here. Oh, this could be so good for Don Artie. This could be so good. 5 minutes still left on the clock. The Red Palace is in here for Hera. That's something that we have to keep in mind, that that guy actually outranges the cannon. So this is gonna be difficult for Don Artie to take down. That Red Palace, look at that. That's the Red Palace. It just absolutely melts units, and you look away for a second and your army is gone. So you gotta be really cautious and you really gotta respect that building out here. Now, Don Artie finally is no longer under pressure, so he has a chance at recovering on water. Look at that. I love how Hera is using his Hawks. It's sort of a dual map control style game, where he's like, okay, the Red Palace is protecting this angle. I'm just gonna use my Hawks to protect the shoreline, and this way, my opponent should have a limited chance to push that Wonder. I only gotta hold out for 4 minutes more. This being said, that is 6 cannon. And that should not be overlooked. Looks like the Hawks are charging in on that keep. Hera trying to take the best shots he can. The keep doesn't have a cannon or a spling golden placement, and it actually is slowly going down. Looks like Don Artie is not repairing it, so Don Artie could actually lose that keep. Looking at his resources, he doesn't have stone for another one, as now demos are slowly coming in. I think Hera lost some navy over here, but we're looking at this side to make sure that we don't miss any kind of major pushes. Hera losing all the barracks though. Does have a decent amount of spearmen out, it's actually 32. And Don Artie doesn't really have a lot of firepower here, only a handful of knights. Some more are coming in. Hand cannoneers would actually be really good here. Oh, look at this. Red Palace is able to destroy those cannons like crazy. One volley and that cannon is half dead. Still, Red Palace is burning down over here. And this will allow Don Artie to push the other keep here. That's what matters. Hera can repair the Red Palace, but this allows Don Artie to push the keep. And he's not far away from the Notre Dame. That's the wonder. 3 minutes remaining. Make or break for Don Artie. His economy looks like an absolute mess over here, but he knows exactly that this comes down to this push. Hera is charging in with everything he's got, all the elite spearmen, and the Notre Dame does go down. It does go down. Now, is this push enough for Don Artie? I'm not so sure, because he had to sacrifice all his resources for this one, and now he's going to lose very expensive cannon. Those are super duper expensive. Each of those costs around 600 gold, right? Yeah, 400 wood, 600 gold. And Hera's army here was relatively cheap, only costing food and wood, when he's got a very, very good economy with those trade ships and the fishing ships. But Don Artie bought himself some time. So there might be a small chance of recovery. He's now using this momentum to redock. You see that he's running out of resources in his island when he sends a whopping 99 villagers to 2 droplets of shorefish. Yeah, he's completely out. He is completely out. He still has a guild hall working for him, but he has just withdrawn the resources from it. So, 5k wood in the bank, but he needs resources or anything that he can really deplete soon. Now, as I said, given this momentum, he might be able to take a good fight against Hera's navy, because now Hera's navy was mispositioned. There's a chance that we are going to see some demos connecting here, especially if Hera proceeds towards this misty area here. And Hera also had to commit a lot of his population to spearmen. Hera's got 54 population being floated in spearmen, so he's gonna have a limited amount of population available for ships. And Don Artie is moving to the middle. If he can secure a position here, he can take both of those gold mines. On Warring Islands, you always have one island with 1 stone, and the other one has the 2 big gold mines. And Don Artie has the one that has the big gold mines, so that's the key to victory. And oh, this could be a perfect sandwich. Look at this. 2 demos on this side, couple of demos on this side, and the mist would also conceal those demos for a long time here. This could be enormous. Looks like Don Artie is not going to use that opportunity for a trap though. Is he gonna turn back? He should. He should turn back over here, sandwich this navy, and sink it. He doesn't have the explosives upgrade, but it might still be worth it to go for this one. Looks like he's coming in with the demos. I wonder if he just wants to sink some trade ships. No, doesn't look like it. Now Hera's gonna bring in the spearmen on the transports though. The good news for Don Artie is that there is not really any economy here that's raidable. He's now adding farms, of course, but it's not like he's going to lose resource income simply because he just doesn't have any. Here come the Hawks. There are some demos here. And they could even sink all those spearmen. We got a keep in the middle, and now a monastery coming in here to capture that sacred site. Don Artie did lose all the docks here, so no more demos coming from this side. Now this castle is being shelled by that one heavily damaged carrack. No cannon emplacement over here to finish it off with. And it looks like Hera is leaving for now. He leaves 45 spearmen around here, which is going to be perfect for raiding. As I said, he's floating a lot of population in there. So the best thing he can do with them is just charge in, do as much damage as he can. These are throwaway units right now. For now, what Hera needs is basically just population slots. Now that is what we call a villager riot, ladies and gentlemen. When there is no resources left on your island to gather, you might as well use your villagers to fight. Won't be efficient, but what else can you do, right? Look at that. It's an army of Wills. 92. Now, there is multiple Mangonels coming in here, and there's Red Pulse as well, so Hera has to be careful, because that's gonna be a lot of good Mangonel hits, and that army could easily get cleaned up. Does this concern Hera? I don't think so. I don't think this should concern Hera at all. These are throwaway units. For him, the big deal now is the middle, getting that gold island. Because keep in mind that at some point Hera's gonna run out of gold as well. You see, both of his gold mines on his island are very much out of gold. There is still a small gold mine that's pretty decent. So he still has a window, and of course, he's got the trade. But speaking of trade, this keep is actually denying the trade here for Hera. Now, Don Artie himself is out of gold on his own island, but he's got this neutral island. So if Don Artie is able to keep control over this island and mine gold, whereas Hera is going to lose his trade ships, suddenly this battle could swing in the favor of Don Artie. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Hera is screwed over a little bit because of this map. Because if you think about it, this gold island is definitely closer to Don Artie than it is to Hera. But that's a general problem with warring islands. There's always one player that's closer to the gold island than the other. I do think that it's a good idea that the sacred sites are split. But something like the coastal trade post being always on the stone island should be a thing. I think most of the times it is, but I've seen generations like this one where it's on the gold island. But this is definitely a much more valuable island. Hawks now coming into this bay here. More docks up for Don Artie. Looking at the resources, Don Artie's got quite a lot of food in the bank, something that he could sell as those Hawks actually get close to the Red Palace. Nice shots over there from that building. Now Mangonels are out, so they could get some good hits in. And Hera's Navy here could easily go down once again. Now Hera's mining stone himself. He's got a monastery as well. Picks up the sacred site, and he could also pick up the relic over here. And now the spearmen flood out. Don Artie does have boiling oil on that keep. And in theory, the monk could even try to get a conversion, but Hera's gonna come in with the battering rams. This is not something that Don Artie sees, I believe. Yeah, he's got no idea. Trade ships constantly getting picked apart here, so Hera's trade is pretty much non-existent now. If Don Artie can hold that island here, he could win the game. He could legit win the game because he's gonna have gold income and Hera won't, so he will be able to field Navy and Hera won't be able to. Now, once again, Hera is taking on those docks over here, so it's not ideal for Don Artie to lose those docks, especially given the fact that he doesn't have wood. Because while Don Artie will have gold, he doesn't have wood income. He's got 45 wood per minute income. He's out of wood on his island, whereas Hera still has a lot to work with. Here comes the first battering ram. This should be an alarming sign here for Don Artie. He needs to try and get a conversion here. Will he try that? He kind of needs to. Ungarrison the relic, try to get a conversion. The monastery goes down in just the blink of an eye, and the relics actually pop out on the wrong side. Oh boy, Don Artie is dead, I believe. He is dead. The keep goes down, all this forward is getting cleaned up, and now Don Artie's got no shot, because if you look at him, he's out of wood, so there's just absolutely no chance for him to go back on water. In fact, this is this time frame in the game where you have to set your guild hole on wood. He's currently having it on stone. He's got 1,000 stone, but what even are you going to accomplish with stone here? You simply don't have the wood to move out and get any kind of map control. And now, the sacred site could be neutralized. Hera could transport through the monk and get that sacred site and just trigger the sacred site countdown. Interesting game. Very interesting game. Demo? Demo? Nope. He refuses to work. Still, one hawk taken down by this completely passive demo. But now all those docks are gone. So where did this slip for Don Artie? It's difficult to say. I feel like the key thing was that very unfortunate starting dock. It feels so weird that in a game that was 44 minutes long, that starting dock was weird. But remember, Hera was able to beat him to Castle Age like crazy. That's because Hera had 4 fishing ships on Deep Fish, and Don Artie had just some of his fishing ships on it. So Hera had a much more efficient economy, beats Don Artie to Castle Age, uses that advantage to get the Navigator Lookouts upgrade, the extra Ballista upgrade, so his navy is slightly better, and forces a fight before Don Artie gets to Castle Age. From that point on, Don Artie has no water control, and it was just a downhills from there. The other key point, I believe, was that Don Artie never really used springolds to take back the shoreline and place the Red Palace or the keeps close to it. You see that he had to make multiple keeps to just get one dock up, and that's just extremely inefficient. Looks like transports, mangonels, and horsemen will be the name of the game once again, but I'm not even sure if that navy can land. Looks like it's gonna be a long journey all the way around. They're playing a Christopher Columbus simulator, because they're going in the alternative direction, looking to jump on Hera's island, but you see Hera spots the dock, so now there is no chance for these reinforcements to come in. It's scouts now. Oh, that's what we call desperation. I can think about only one idea why Don Artie would do this. I think what he is thinking about is that, okay, how do I win a game if I can't destroy my opponent's army? I can try sniping his landmarks. And remember that the scouts are very cheap. Scouts do have high torch damage. So you could try diving in and sniping Hera's TC landmarks. Will that work? Absolutely not, because the Red Palace itself would melt you, although Hera never repaired it. And of course, the keeps would just melt your army. Behind this one, Hera also transported his army through, so now Hera is the one that's just going for landmarks. But here comes Don Artie. Let's see what he had on his mind. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's the Kamikaze army. But there's absolutely no way that this army will ever be able to destroy the Guild Hall. The starting TC is this one, so you gotta destroy this, the Guild Hall, and the Chamber of Commerce. That's gonna be a sad fight. I mean, the scouts have a lot of torch damage, but these buildings have like 6,000 HP or so. Plus, there is Frey castles firing here, and Hera needs to repair that Red Palace. If he does that, there's absolutely no chance. Hera's got another Wonder up, so if this game wasn't over enough, it will be over when that Wonder countdown finishes, but I mean, Don Artie is actually losing his landmarks faster than Hera will. There goes the starting TC, the Chamber of Commerce and the Guild Hall are both within reach. Destroying that Red Palace will be challenging, and this is why I said that Hera needs to repair his Red Palace just to make sure. Because this army will never be able to destroy the Red Palace. Another keep coming in here for Don Artie. He has had a lot of stone in the Guild Hall, and now he's running to the corner. Another keep. He's just dropping keeps everywhere. Will this work? Probably not. Why would it ever work? Hera can just keep spamming Spearman at it, and at some point, it's going to collapse. Oh no. Oh no. No, no. Like, if that Red Palace gets finished, this is gonna be the biggest slaughter ever seen. Holy potatoes. Oh man. Oh no, no, no. Look at the cat. Red Palace is just one-shotting Wills. That's an absolute slaughter. Is it actually going up? It's actually the ultimate doubt castle. Because if you think about it, a doubt castle, the traditional term of doubt castle refers to a building that does get finished, but does cost you the entire economy you have. Nowadays, people are seeing or using it more and more for buildings or castles, which don't go up. But the classical phrase of doubt castle actually refers to a castle that does go up, and it does cost you your entire economy. That's pretty much this one. Kamikaze villagers on this, and Don Artie taps out. He had like 20 population in the end. He really tried everything. He really tried everything in the end, but that just didn't work out. What a crazy game. Don Artie was on the back foot for a long time, but I have to say that he definitely delivered some entertaining moves in this one, but Hera takes this. What a game.